Hello, Southeastern Wisconsin. Purpose of this video is to clear up any misinformation about state emission testing for Southeastern Wisconsin. It's January of 2017, so any information I'm about to give you is for up to this time. Typically, this test is taken every 2 years. It applies to 96 and newer vehicles, and starting 2007, diesels will also be tested. And it looks like it's going to stay that way for quite some time. It's not going to keep bouncing up to 98, 99, 2000. It's going to stay at 96 and newer for quite some time. You cannot be denied a test, so when you go in for your emission test, I strongly suggest you have them follow through on it. Even though the check engine light is on, still do the test. There's many reasons for that, and we'll get into that, but one of them is if you eventually need a waiver, the state will need to see that you're taking a test and the work that was done on the vehicle will apply toward that fail. So we'll talk about that, but definitely take the test even if the check engine light is on. The test is free and it's good information for you. So this is not a tailpipe test, okay? Obviously we used to run them on the dyno, and we don't do that anymore. This is strictly a plug and play. Typically test time is 5 to 10 minutes tops. So very quick, very convenient, and what happens during the test is your vehicle reports to the state analyzer. The state analyzer requests some specific information from your car. Your car then reports that information to the analyzer. And what you get from the test facility is a vehicle inspection report. This is not a diagnostic test. It is simply a report telling you whether or not you passed or failed or rejected your emission test. Again, the codes are on the bottom. If you have any trouble codes, they're on the bottom of the vehicle inspection report. And the purpose of those codes are to give the technician, whoever's working on the vehicle, a starting point for where to start looking. It is not a diagnostic test or a result. A professional technician will have a troubleshooting chart for every code. So when you have a, let's say, a P0171 system lean, there is a troubleshooting chart for that. You don't guess as to what the problem is. You don't assume it's anything. You have a professional technician at a recognized repair facility actually do proper testing so that you're not wasting your money loading up the parts cannon and just throwing parts at the car. It's not what it was intended for, and you know, it's only money. It's only your money. So if you're going to, use it, let's do it properly. So enough about that rant. Skipping that step will only end up costing you. So please have a diagnostic done. I mean, that's what it's all about. So on that vehicle inspection report, on the very top, it'll say pass, fail, or reject. Pass is pretty simple. You pass and you get your car registered. A fail, typically there's trouble codes on the very bottom of that fail sheet, and that will kind of clue you in. Another reason you may fail is because the check engine light, or they call it an MIL, malfunction indicator lamp, is not working. So that's another reason that you may fail. For you to get a cost waiver or any type of waiver from the state, you have to spend up to $872 at least trying to get the car to pass the emission test. Those repairs have to be done by a recognized repair facility, and you have to have the check engine light working. A recognized repair facility is a facility that has passed all the credentials to satisfy the state that they're qualified to work on emission-related problems on your vehicle. So obviously you can go anywhere to get your car fixed, and if you get it to pass, that's fine. But if you need to qualify for a waiver, those repairs have to be done by a recognized repair facility. And it doesn't necessarily mean that where you get the car tested is a recognized repair facility. That's a test facility. Those are two different things. A test facility and a recognized repair facility are two different things entirely, so don't make that assumption. Just because you had your car tested there means they're a recognized repair facility. Again, you can go on the website provided by the state to look up who's recognized and who's not. I strongly recommend you do that before you get your repairs done. Let's address monitors real quick. When it comes to your car rejecting, there's many reasons that your car will reject. There could be a problem with the car, or simply you could just need to drive it more. If you continue to reject for more than 2 weeks, chances are there's something wrong with your car and you need to get it looked at. I recommend taking it to a technical assistance center if you reject for more than 2 weeks in a row. Of course, having several tests done in those 2-week period. You can reject for so many reasons. We've come across so many reasons here at Auto Analyzers for your car rejecting. I don't know where to begin. So I'll just say at this point, if you continue to reject and your regular repair facility can't figure it out, take it to a technical assistance center. There's 5 in southeastern Wisconsin. Any one of them will be happy to help. At that point, take it to a technical assistance center, have them figure out why it's continuing to reject. They'll give you that answer, and then at that point you can make a proper decision on what to pursue next. So that's why you reject is typically your monitors aren't running, and there's several reasons for your monitors not to run. So your question is, what is a monitor? A monitor is software that is built into the vehicle that the car runs self-testing on, and that's programmed into the car. Once it passed that monitor, it continues on to the next monitor, and when all the monitors have run, then you are able to pass the emission test. That's why it doesn't work if you have a problem with your car and you just turn it off, turn the light off with the scan tool. You can't just go get your car taken right after you turn off the light, because the monitors haven't run. Typically that's 2 or 3 days of driving, or at least a couple drive cycles to get those monitors to pass. Your typical drive cycle, to put it simply, is the car is completely cold, hasn't been run for 8 hours, and you drive it to normal operating temperature at different speeds. There's very specific drive cycles, but for today's video, that's pretty much what happens. So typically 2 or 3 drive cycles, you'll run most of the monitors to get it to pass. State of Wisconsin says 2001 in newer cars, you can only have 1 monitor not run. 2000 and older, you can have 2 monitors not run and still pass the emission test. So that's the quick version of what monitors are. Those are kind of a hang-up when it comes to rejects. But again, that's what the technical assistance centers are for, and I strongly recommend that you use them. Technical assistance centers are also where you get your waivers. Again, we talked about waivers and what it takes to get a waiver. There's cost waivers, there's technical waivers. If the technical assistance center doesn't see any problem with the car and there's some special circumstance, sometimes it can grant you a technical waiver. Most waivers are typically cost waivers. But yeah, at the Technical Assistance Center, you get waivers, you can get a diagnostic summary if you're having trouble. Again, please feel free to call them and make an appointment if you need to. That's the quick version of what's going on. There's just a lot of misinformation out there, and I recommend you just do a little bit of research before you have your car fixed, so that you make sure it's done by the proper repair facility and that those repairs count toward a waiver. Again, all those repairs that are done that count toward a waiver have to be addressing the trouble codes on the bottom of the vehicle inspection report. So that's very important. If you're failing for a catalytic converter, having your mechanic throw tune-up parts at it just isn't going to cut it. That's not what it's intended for. If you have a catalytic converter code, obviously a catalytic converter would count, or some other type of repair that would fix that catalytic converter code. So again, you know, if you have a misfire code, you definitely want to have that type of thing diagnosed. We don't want to see people guessing at what a misfire is. Again, that's why you want to take it to a recognized shop so they can properly diagnose it, get it fixed, so that you're not emitting harmful pollutants out of your tailpipe. Again, thank you for your time, and have a nice day.